is. Good morning, everybody. The style that I'm making right now, yes. Like you can't do this type of stitch with a sewing machine. You can do a zigzag stitch, but this one has like a blade on it, so it actually cuts the fabric on wherever. I mean, we have a line here that I try to follow, so the blade will actually cut on the line if I get it right on the line. Whereas a sewing machine cannot do that. So you can cut your shape right on that line with scissors, and then do a zigzag stitch on the end, but it doesn't finish it the same way as this. But you can make a turn and top stitch pad that you can fully make on the sewing machine. So you don't need a serger to make pads. It's just if you want this type of edge, you need a serger for that. I actually use 3 different fabrics. So there's the back fabric, which is the water repellent, water resistant fabric. It's called soft shell. The top fabric varies with what I want. So this one here is PK, which is probably my top fabric, but I also carry minky and velours. This is a velour. This one's a cotton velour, so it does have like texture on it, which is really good for heavier flows, like gushing, clotting kind of thing. So there's that fabric. It also comes in an organic bamboo velour. So the cotton velour I always get where it's already pre-dyed like this, and the bamboo velour I get just like in a cream color, and that is what I dye myself. So there's that. There's also minky, and we also do, oh, there's a minky right here actually. And I also do like a cotton lycra kind of thing. So this is minky, and it has like very similar texture as the velours and stuff. It's just longer. So that one, and then like I said, the cotton velour, but I don't have any on hand right now to show you. So those are like the top and the bottom, and then the middle fabric is always Zorb. I do not sell the fabric, no. My favorite fabric is also PK. I love that fabric. So Lena, my holidays were pretty good actually. I rested. We stayed up late. We slept in a lot. We relaxed a lot. We didn't have too many things to like family-wise to go to, so that was really nice. I was pretty much ready to come back like on Sunday though. The Sunday and the Monday was definitely like I was so done with sitting around doing nothing. I wanted to come back on Monday, but I said, no, I will enjoy my last day. I took the Christmas tree down and all that kind of stuff. So during the day it wasn't too bad, but it was like after supper, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so bored. I don't want to watch TV anymore. I don't want to just like veg. I want to get back to work. So, but other than that, it was really nice. We had really good weather. Because sometimes I find during the holidays you can get stuck in like storms and stuff, but we didn't have anything like that. So yeah, it was really nice. Nice and relaxing. Oh, nice. What I would suggest if you just bought a serger and you're wanting to make pads, I would highly, highly suggest that you just either like go to like a secondhand store kind of thing, like a Salvation Army or Valley Village or whatever. Sometimes they have fabric there, but even if you just get like cheap t-shirts, just get yourself like 1 or 2 t-shirts, and or if you can go to the fabric store and get something that's like really, really, really cheap, like no more than $2 or $3 a meter kind of thing, and fold it in half and trace this curve line like over and over beside each other. That Marie had mentioned that, and I was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea for those who are just starting. So just trace like a curve like that over and over again and just keep serging it, because the curves, this style isn't as bad. But when you get into like a style that's like this, where it like goes straight and then all of a sudden it curves, it's really hard to get that curve to be like nice and tight. And even for myself, like I still sometimes have problems. Even here, I find I always have one side that's really bad. It's always this down curve. So when I start here, I'm okay. Coming around, when I come here, I start to get just a little bit loopy, you can see. And then when I turn this curve is when I get a little bit loopy, and then I get better again, and then it's fine. So even for myself, I've been sewing forever, but I've been serging for quite some time now, and it's still not quite perfect. So, you know, advice is to trace this line over and over and over again, and just keep practicing that until you feel like you're pretty decent, and then use your, you know, more expensive fabrics that you want to make your pads out of, because you will quickly waste lots and lots of expensive fabric for literally nothing. Never heard of PKs. They're hard to find. PK, I don't know if anywhere else sells it. I looked when I first started, and I couldn't really find it other than at Spoonflower. So it's a US fabric company. You can print fabric there. So there are some fabrics that I print myself. Well, not myself, but like I purchase the file for that, not necessarily this print, but I would purchase the file for the print, and then I would send it to them and they would print it for me. So I've done that, but they also have a lot of people like you and I who like to draw and draw up, you know, designs. They upload their designs onto that website and they get a commission. So these prints that I get are not found like in a fabric store. You'll never find these mass produced in a fabric store kind of thing. So I really like supporting them, because they're supporting other small businesses such as myself, and you're getting like, you know, not necessarily one of a kind, because anybody can order from there, but you're not getting mass produced prints. I'm doing super good, Kayla. How are you doing? Harley, it's called a serger. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's an industrial serger, and it cuts on the line. So you can do pads as what's called a turn and top stitch. So you basically make the pad all inside out, then you turn it right side out, and then you top stitch all of the top to like close up your little hole and kind of all that kind of stuff. And that's a great way to make pads as well, but it makes the edge of the pad bulkier. Whereas when you serge it, it keeps things really, really nice and thin. So it's really not thick. Whereas when you turn in top stitch, not only do you have like your seam allowance, but then you have like that flipped over again. So it gets a bit bulky. So I definitely am happy that I switched over to doing them this way. And it's a lot quicker doing it this way. Yeah, it definitely, it's not, it's very time consuming, and I would get like cramps in my hands from turning them, because like you're turning them in like a little hole that's about that wide, because you don't want your turning hole to be huge, right? So your turning hole is like this wide, and like a smaller pad isn't bad, but when you start getting into the bigger ones and then the thicker ones, it's a lot of fabric to just turn out in this little spot without pulling your stitches. And so you're, you know, trying to manipulate the fabric for it to come out, and it doesn't always come out very easily. I remember me and my husband would be sitting in bed watching TV, and we would turn pads all night. It was so annoying. Yes, I remember I used to do through the wings too. It's not a fun process. I don't miss that whatsoever. There's a few shapes like the peen shape and stuff that I had thought about doing, and then when I just like thought like, okay, so yeah, I'll do it, no big deal, and then I just imagined the turning process, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So I strictly basically just do serged pads now. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Aaliyah. These ones are the teen pads. I was hoping to have them ready for this week, but that just didn't happen. So they'll be ready for the following restock, which is on the 13th. I know I was thinking of going live yesterday, but I was just kind of like, eh. And then I saw that Marie was live, so I was like, I'll just watch her. I've been, well, I just signed up again for, like audiobooks, so I was listening to a book, and I was kind of like, nah, I'm cool to just do that. So I didn't come live, but... Yes, so we gifted the kids a trip. We were going to go to like a resort, but I think for this year, so my stepdad's brother has a place down in Florida, and over the holidays he was telling us how like if nobody really goes, then he's gonna probably sell it in the next couple of years. So we were like, well, maybe we can just go there instead, and it would be a lot cheaper. And I've collected lots and lots of air miles on my business account, so we can turn those in for cash to put towards like our flight and stuff. So like our trip would literally cost us, well, and that's a 10-day trip, including a rental, a vehicle, and our flights there and back And so that's not including like our food and if we want to do anything, but to get there and back and to have a vehicle, it would basically cost us like $700. So, yeah, he was just like, why don't we just do that for this year? And then we can sort of plan a little bit better, for, you know, maybe the following year or the year after that kind of thing. So, what's up, Chuck? I think you only had that one left to trace, eh?
Yep.
There was just that one? Okay. Yeah, and it's still warm. Exactly. So, and we're probably gonna end up going closer to the end of February. So I think it'll be all right. I just really want to take them somewhere where there's palm trees, where there's ocean, you know, a plane, a flight. That's really all I kind of care about for this year. And then, yeah, once that's done, then we'll probably plan for like an actual trip. My problem, well, not my problem, but my concern too is that like with Sasha, I don't really think it'll be an issue, but with Bryson, I don't want him to get bored at a resort. Like there's not that much for like younger kids to do. So sure, he could play, you know, in the pool and we can go to the beach but like there's only so much of that he'll want to do before he kind of gets bored. And I mean, we have a pool at home and he's very like, he wants somebody to be in there to play with all the time. So I'm like, I want to relax. So I don't know, maybe an extra year will give him a little bit more maturity. But when we were looking, we were checking out places that had like water parks and stuff too, which I think would be fun. But even that, like, he's kind of chicken, so I don't think he would do all the slides if there was a water park. There'd be lots. Okay, so yeah, maybe that is what we'd have to find then. We've never been to a kids resort. We've always been to, not even just adults only, but we've never brought our kids, so we've never had to worry about like having things for them to do sort of thing. So I think yeah, we'll kind of look into that a little bit more next year. And I think we're just going to try to gift them that every year. Like, it was a lot easier to shop for. We literally just got them like a handful of things. And yeah, it was easy and a lot cheaper. Well, a lot cheaper. Somewhat. But anyways, we'll see. Okay, so I cut out another strip for the gusher pads, and I wanted to just sew that together and see if I could get these to stay like nice and flat. That was the only problem with this one here, is that as I was sewing, it would pull on like the little piece and push it down, and I didn't really like that. Like this one here just completely pushed it down. So we're gonna try with tweezers, I think, to keep it flat. And I already lost my little corner piece, so it was around, and then anyways. I think Lindsay homeschools, eh? Yes, they are bangle pads. Though I saw Halloween, not bangle. But yes, they would be. Okay, well that's a lot better. I just have to kind of guide it. like cutting the slits, you mean? I don't want to do that because these here, like I just made a big piece of fabric, and then I was just able to like tear right through them all. So I didn't have to like start and stop and kind of, but this seems to be doing okay. I don't know what you mean. I'm trying to think of what you mean, but I can't figure it out. Oh, just like a straight stitch down? There's lots of different ways. Oh, I got a little bit loopy there, but these are just testers. There's lots of different ways on how to, yeah, I could maybe do that, just a straight stitch down. I could do that. But yeah, there's lots of ways to do gusher pads, and most of the ways I do not like. So this way I'm able to just make a big piece of fabric. So yeah, you just kind of sew like a big piece of fabric. You just sew a bunch of lines, like just the lines there, and then in between the lines you cut right through. But some will actually sew the lines on the pad, so, and then they cut, but you have to like start and stop, and that's very time consuming, and sometimes you can slice through layers you don't want to slice through, so it's a little bit, yeah, I might try the next one to just do a top stitch, and then it's just an extra layer though that I don't really want to be doing, but we'll see. Yes. Oh god. There, so that's like the outer shell basically, and then you would just place that on there. And that would be considered an exposed core because the core, this is the core, is exposed to the top and not like sewn inside the pad. So you just center it and you would do a little top stitch on there. And then that's what it looks like. So the wings are really nice and slim too when you do that. So that's what it looks like at the end of it. You mean like our shipping time? I'll have to top stitch it out, but yes, using the tweezers, and then next one I'll try to just do a top stitch. I think it looks pretty all right. I think maybe not this month, or maybe what I could do this month is sew a whole bunch of like the chenille, like the gusher fabric, and then next month we can maybe put some together. So the difference between like a disposable pad and a reusable pad, at first you'll definitely, like, there's a difference in the feeling, right? Because the disposables have like that layer where it kind of gives you like a stay dry feeling and all that kind of stuff. So some fabrics more than others will kind of at times make you feel wet at the beginning, but I find it's something that you quickly get used to because it's not like soaking wet. It's just it's there. It's wet, but it's not soaking wet. So it is a little bit different to get used to, but I can't say that I ever feel wet once you sort of get over the difference of the feeling. So yeah, if you're talking about like shipping and stuff, then yeah, so that we are now going to be shipping our orders out every Thursday. And then from there, it kind of depends on where you live. So it normally takes roughly about 2-ish weeks, a week and a half, 2-ish weeks. Sometimes it can take a little bit closer to the 3 weeks, but again, it just really depends on where you live. Other than that, it's fairly quick. If you are located in Canada, it's more so like a week to 2 weeks. But it definitely depends on where you live. Oh God, no, it doesn't leak, because if it leaked, I wouldn't have a job. No, so the back fabric is actually repellent. This back fabric here, one side is like a fleecy side, so that's what helps grip to your underwear and keep the pad in place. And then this side is kind of like coat material kind of thing, so the water just beads on it. It beads right off, so the core will absorb it, this little layer here, and this is highly water resistant. I can't say it's waterproof because it's technically not, but it's very, very resistant. The only time it'll leak is if you are not wearing the proper absorbency for the flow that you have. So let's say you're just wearing like this little teeny tiny pad, but you've got like a really, really heavy flow. Then yeah, you could potentially be like leaking off the top and the bottom, or even off the wings. So you do want to buy the proper sizing for the type of flow that you have. But you'll never like leak, in the center and it come right through the back kind of thing. But yeah, they're much more comfortable. They're much more breathable as well. They won't cause like sweating or irritation and stuff like that. A lot of people have noticed like allergic reactions to just like the chemicals that are in the disposables and stuff, so you won't have that anymore. But they absorb really nicely, fairly quickly. Like every fabric absorbs differently, but overall they all absorb really, really nicely. Especially the piqué one, it's a fast wicking fabric. It's a cooling fabric as well, so especially in the summertime, if you live somewhere where you get pretty hot, these piqué fabrics are like they have a cooling factor to them. So this fabric is similar to like golf shirts and stuff. So if you can imagine, a golfer in the sun all day, obviously they're still going to sweat, but the shirt absorbs really nicely, keeps them feeling cool and dry, and this fabric is the same thing. Yep, you can use a washing machine to wash them. Basically, our rule of thumb is a rinse, a wash, and a dry. So you can rinse them however way you want. If you want to rinse them by hand, if you want to soak them in a bucket, if however way you want to do that. I use my washing machine though to do everything. So I just use like a small load, a quick wash, a short wash, anything that's roughly about 20 minutes. 20-25 minutes, and I add just a teeny little bit of detergent. I use OxyClean. If you can't or don't want to use OxyClean, you can also use hydrogen peroxide. That you would just kind of pour or spray on each of your pads, but the OxyClean you can just dump like a spoonful of it in your machine. Cold water for your first rinse out, because it will help take the stains out. Hot water sets them in, or heat sets them in, and cold gets them out. So always use cold water, at least for your first wash. And then once that's gone through, then I bulk my load. So I will wash towels, clothes, whatever that I'm ready to wash. I like to put another scoop of OxyClean just to give them like a second go with the stains, and it's not going to be harmful on your clothes either. Regular amount of detergent for the wash that you're doing. You can use whatever type of water temperature that you are used to using for regular washing or for whatever you're washing. I know some people will wash like different temperatures for dark clothes, light clothes, white clothes, towels, whatever. So do whatever you're going to be doing with the clothes that you have. And then they're dryer safe, or you can hang them to dry. Don't use fabric softener or bounty sheets with them, or bleach. So the fabric softener and bounty sheets or dryer sheets leave like a residue, and that's what stops the clothes from being staticky, but it will create a layer on your pad and it will eventually stop it from absorbing so well. So obviously once in a while it's not the end of the world, but you don't want to be doing it every single time, or you will in the long run damage your pads. And other than that, you're cool. Any detergent works. You know, some people have allergies and stuff, so they have like sensitive type soaps, and it's fine as long as they come out, you know, clean and stuff. You're good to go. I do have multi-packs. I have packs of 2, packs of 3. I do sell packs of 4 or 5, but I don't have any right now. We sold out over the holidays, so I have to make some more. Did I make my table from the over? I don't know what you mean. Like, did I make this table? Yeah, I'm trying more and more to have kits. I find I have more like 3-pad kits. That's what these are part of. They're part of a 3-pad kit with so it's kind of like a peachy, pinky kind of color. This light blue and a buttery color. I don't know if you can see them. So we'll have 3-pad kits with those 3 colors. Probably next restock. We'll have all of those. And then right now I have 2-pad kits that come in 10 inch, 12 inch, and 14 inch. So you get 2 10 inches, 2 12 inches, or 2 14 inches. And you can get them in either a blue and a green, or a dark gray and a raspberry. And then we still have the 3-pad kits that are like in a mermaid color combo. But yeah, I'll always have like singles, so individual pads, and the kits are what we always fight to keep in stock. So you can click on my name that's right up top there, and it'll bring you to my profile, and my information is there. And if you are planning on purchasing, you can use this code here, TTLive20, all caps, all one word, and you'll get 20% off your order. So we are restocking on Friday. We have 4 new prints, a solid, and I think that's it. Yeah. You don't have to if you don't want. You can click out of that. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. Subscribing literally just gives you access to sales or deals, like coupons that I don't necessarily offer to like the regular public. And you will also get emails on like when we plan on restocking and stuff. So you'll get that information before basically everybody else, kind of thing. So I don't like bombard you every single day or anything like that. It's not that often that I send emails out. I'm not a daily newsletter kind of person. Or you could just go to www.ladycrimsonclothemporium.ca. If it's not, for whatever reason, it's not working. It is like a landing page. So there's like different things that you can click on. I always kind of fight between or go between a landing page for like various things that people could be searching for versus just my website link. I don't know what's easier for people. Happy New Year's, Claire. How was your Christmas? Oops. It is hard. What about odor? So there is no odor to speak of. The odor that we know, like that we recognize, is because your disposable pads have a crap ton of chemicals in them, and then that mixes with your sweat because they don't breathe, so you sweat a lot more in that area, and then just like the blood itself. So those three things mix together, and that's what creates the smell. In pads and in tampons. So when you're eliminating the chemicals and you're allowing that area to breathe, there's no odor. The only smell you might get is just the smell of blood itself, and that's just like a metally smell. And I find you really only get that if you've got like a really, really heavy flow, and you only really smell it when you're changing because your face is kind of over it. But other than that, there's no smell. I know, same thing for me. I like the Christmas parties and stuff, but then I kind of don't. Yeah. For the bottom of the pad, I use soft shell. And yes, dry storing will help keep anything from growing. Some people like to store, well, some people will rinse their pads out as soon as they get home or as soon as they take it off. And that's fine, but your pad is now wet, and that is when bacteria will grow. So it is okay. It's just you need to make sure that your wet bag that you're storing your pads in is open so that there's air that can flow through to dry them out until you're ready to wash them. Some people like to store them in a bucket with water and just let them soak for like the whole time that they're on their period kind of thing. But that as well, you need to change the water every single day. You need to make sure that nothing gets, gross in there. And if you live a busy life, if you're, if you got a job, if you're a parent, if you're a partner, like a lot of things can affect, remembering to do that every single day. So that too, like you have to be on top of it if that's the way that you want to do it. And so that's why I always just recommend to literally take it off and toss it in your bag. It will dry. And then there's no risk of bacteria or mold happening or anything like that. And you can leave, like I've left dried soiled pads in my bag underneath my sink for like months, like 2-3 months even. But because they dry out, there's no risk of anything happening to them. So they don't create smell even after that long of waiting. You just wash them up like you normally would, and they're just as good. So you also don't have to feel like as soon as you've worn it, you have to wash it or the stains will set in, or it's not how it works. Yes, blood is water soluble. And a stain doesn't mean it's dirty, so don't feel like just because there's a stain that they're not clean. You can always work on getting the stains out. But the pad is definitely clean. The only time the pad's not clean is you'll feel it, like you'll feel residue and stuff on it. Then either your washing routine isn't good, maybe your washing machine isn't as, it's an older machine isn't going to wash the same as a brand new machine, so maybe you got to do like a longer wash or whatever. You can adjust accordingly to your machine, but yeah, I really like this color. These are the 3 colors that the girls picked out. Back and forth with someone who kept saying cloth is gross. They said spray. No. Nope. For one, if they knew anything about AIDS, is that, you can't, like, it's not a bunch of people that are wearing that pad. So if you wash it and you have AIDS, then, like, you're not giving it to anybody else by wearing a reusable pad. And as long as it's washed, you're fine. So even if you did have AIDS and you washed the pad and you lent one to somebody else, as long as it's washed, you're not spreading that. You can't spread it that way. So people, it's funny how people are still clueless after all these years. No, they're scared. This is it, right? They're scared and they're ignorant. They don't know. And a lot of the times when you don't know, you're scared. But if you were to open your mind, and in the end, when you really think about it, someone who has AIDS and wears a disposable pad has much more risk than a reusable pad, because a disposable pad, you are tossing it in the landfill, and if somebody decided to pick that up and did have a cut on their hand or whatever, and that blood went into their system, that would be a chance that they could pass it along. Whereas this, they're containing their own fluids to themselves. They're washing everything. So nobody will ever end up touching it. So really, if you think about it, cloth would be way better for anybody who has AIDS. The inside of the pads. Yeah, so it's Zorb. It's a hypoallergenic fabric. If you want to go like on my website, I'm not supposed to say that, but if you want to go to where you would shop with me, and you click on any of the products, the description pops up, and there's like a really good description of what Zorb is made of and doesn't have, and blah blah blah. So if you want to go check that out, but it literally is like the best fabric for sensitive skins kind of thing. So and then like the top fabrics, some of them are polyester. Well, pretty much all of them have a mixture of polyester in them, a certain percentage. But then like we have cotton lycra or like a cotton spandex kind of fabric. These ones are velours, so I have cotton velour and bamboo velour, but they still have like a certain percentage of spandex or polyester in them. So I don't know like the level of sensitivity that you have, but yeah. Exactly. You can just get like a cotton topped pad. The back, I know one maker, I can't remember his whole name. It's like Dragon something. He makes pads that are more so like natural fibers. He doesn't use polyester to speak of. So his pads are cotton topped and cotton backed, I believe. I don't know what he's using in the middle. I thought I had seen a video not just like yesterday or the day before that he puts PUL inside, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure how he kind of like water repels in any way, but you could go, if anybody knows his name, Dragon something. But yeah, he definitely has pads that are good for people who are sensitive to like polyester and stuff. Well, that's what I thought I saw. He puts like a hidden PUL in the middle, but I could be wrong. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. Yeah, I think it's obviously more so for like his heavier pads that he will use a PUL, and then for the other ones, there isn't anything in there. butter dragon. Yeah, dragon something. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, he uses like cotton top fabrics. I used to. I just don't. If you have like a really light flow, then cotton is fine. But as soon as you get a little bit if you have like a really light flow, then cotton is fine. But as soon as you get a little bit heavier, cotton like takes a second before it starts absorbing. So when you have heavier flows, gushing, that kind of thing, cotton's really not the greatest for that. So I used to, but I don't anymore. It's not my favorite. I don't like it. You know, so I just don't use it. It depends on the type of sensitivity. So like I said, if you can't use polyester like at all, then I don't have anything for you. But if you are like okay with certain things, then like certain levels, I would probably go with the cotton lycra because it does have some cotton in it, or the velour ones. I would probably stay away from the piqué and the minky because they are more so like 100% polyester. Though the piqué is a really nice soft fabric, like it is really nice. So again, I don't know the type of sensitivities that you have, so you might need to maybe try a couple and see, because yeah, I can't tell you 100%. Yeah, I agree. And some cottons are really, really nice and soft, but they're far and few between. So but like cotton is cheap, so when you're first starting to make pads, or you know, whatever, you're doing them for donation purposes, things like that, then cotton is really nice to use because it's cheap and you can just go to your local fabric store and get some, right? But it's not always the best. Someone had asked about the dots on the pads, and that one doesn't have any. This one. So we sometimes put these little dots here because when we center the core, sometimes you can't see like the traced line very well. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see like our traced line. So we just like mark dots, and the dots seem to come through. And then so we can center our core layer within, you know, the vicinity of the pad kind of thing. So that's all that is. That's what I mean. It's cheap, so you can more easily afford cotton versus other fabrics, but there are much better options out there. I mean, I have a lot of cotton as well over the years, but I've just recently, like, I think at the beginning of 2022, I was still making some cotton, and then I stopped. So it's only really been a year, basically, that I stopped. Mm-hmm. Yes. Hello, Blue. I mean, there's nothing really, like, even if it's not perfect, as long as it has absorbency in the middle and it snaps around your underwear, that's all that really matters. So it doesn't need to look perfect. You know, if you get something that has a curve, even if your curve is like kind of wonky, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, as long as it's got absorbency and snaps, you know. And there's lots and lots of tutorials on YouTube, so you can always go there and watch. That's what I did when I first started. That's where I found out about them originally, was because I fell upon a video, and then I like immersed myself in it. So I watched like tons and tons and tons of videos, and I could literally, like, I'd never sewn a pad before, but I could literally do it with my eyes closed at that point because I had watched so many. And some of them will give you like a free template or tell you where to get free templates. They'll tell you where to get fabric, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, just don't worry about how it looks, just worry about how it works. And if it works, then it's good. Mm-hmm. Here, I'll just move this back here. There we go. There's also like, oh, you're in South Africa, that's cool. I do ship there if you are interested. If you have Facebook, there's also some really cool Facebook groups that, you know, will kind of help with teaching people how to sew pads. And they'll also have like free templates and stuff to make pads. No, I don't know anybody that sews there. But we pretty much all ship there. But you can maybe try to Google, like, if, you know, search for, because I do know there are people who make cloth pads for communities or areas in Africa that are like really, really poor. Even like schools for girls and things like that, they'll make pads to donate to those places. So maybe they also make pads to sell. So you can maybe look up places in Africa that do that, and they could maybe help out. Yes, CCO definitely has a lot. Some of the Facebook groups have free patterns, and Sophie does. Yeah. Yeah. There's lots and lots of resources for sure. So hopefully you can figure something out anyways. Hello. Yes, this is part of one of the 3-pad kits. It'll come with like a buttery yellow and a light blue color. Yeah, they really did. The girls did a really good. So it's these 3 colors here. Very pretty. I always tend to go with like darker colors, so it was kind of nice when that's what they picked, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Yeah, these ones are the cotton velour ones. Good morning, Leslie. These ones, so in, I guess, end of November, maybe sometime in November, I had asked the girls if they could pick out a 3-pad kit color for me. So those are the 3 colors that they picked. So I like them. They're beautiful. They're just definitely not colors that I would go for, because I always go for darker colors, but it kind of goes well because I find once January comes around, I'm always like in spring mode, even though spring doesn't come for another 4 or 5 months. But I'm always like, okay, enough with winter stuff there, like let's start bringing in some lighter colors and some florals and easy breezy kind of things. So it sort of worked out that they picked these colors. Nice. we're pretty much good for, God, I feel like till March now, end of March even, because so this restock obviously is already done. Next restock, we just have like snaps, a couple pads to sew. And that one's like a Valentine's Day restock on the 13th, and then the next one is on the 27th. It was going to be like a little bit of like random odds and ends, kind of, not even odds and ends, but just like some fabrics that I really liked and got, but they didn't really fit in like any form of theme. So a little bit random. That was going to be on the 27th, but then the Wednesday prints came in, so I decided to do those instead. So that's what they're working on right now. And then the randoms will be sent to February 3rd. February 10th is the Sailor Moon and Pokemon stuff. On the 24th, it's going to be the Care Bears prints. And then either the 3rd or the 10th will be a Harry Potter. Then we've got like cat space mixture. Yeah, so that takes us to like mid-March. Everything's already decided. Yeah, it does feel good. Us too, everything's like completely changed around. Yes. So there's 4 prints of Wednesdays. I might do some solids too, because we have some solids. So I might do, like we have black. I might do black, purple, pink. We've got a navy. So I might do like some of the colors that are in the show, in the solids. So we'll see. We will see. No one is near the pedal to make the machine work, but it turns on and catches fingers. What? What are you talking about? I will be. I ordered a bigger rotary cutter. I think it said it's like 100 centimeters round, so it's like about that big. So I will be. We talked about it. I talked about it with the girls, and we seem to be all on the same page about that. So once that comes in, we'll start pre-cutting all of our backer fabrics. I'm still waiting to get a confirmation from a week ago for my order for more backer fabric, so I'm kind of annoyed with that too. I might email them today though. I just want to like set up. I just want to set something up where like every month they send me X amount, and like they have my card, so like on the 15th of every month they send me, you know, whatever, like 100 meters or something. We could like decide, but because this whole like waiting where I get it, you put your order in, but you don't pay for it right away because they want to figure out the shipping cost. So you like confirm that yes, you are going to order this. And then normally it's like 2-3 days after they send you another email with the shipping amount added to it. And then you place your order kind of thing. You finish your order. But I placed my order like last week and I still haven't gotten a confirmation for my shipping yet. So I'm kind of like annoyed. And it was early last week, so it wasn't even like, I get that maybe they were on vacation and stuff, like that they were off between Christmas and New Year's, but I feel like come Monday or yesterday the latest that I would have gotten a confirmation email. No, I don't order from where Marie orders. I order from Tony Tex. I would like to order from where she orders, but yeah, with like them being back order, blah, 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 I don't really want to deal with that. Whereas the place that I order, they're often out of the color that I choose, but they have other options. So like, let's say I ordered this one where it's like gray and black, then they'll send me like a green and black or whatever. Like I always tell them, as long as that back color is black, I don't care what the inside color is because it doesn't show, so it doesn't bother me. So there's been often enough where they will send me something else, but as long as it's black. Oh, your 10-year-old needs them too. That's awesome. I actually have, well, it's not awesome, but it is what it is. But I actually have teen prints that I'm doing that will be released next restock. So there's these cute little pastel ghosts and these little voodoo dolls, and we've got sharks for obvious reasons, and these little bat ones. I think that's it. Oh no, and this one here. And that one there. And those are all made for teens. So they're a little bit more narrower in the gusset area when you snap them up. They're not as wide here because I've had, not that I've had people say anything, but I just find marketing wise, why not just make pads to market to them specifically, instead of saying, oh yeah, well these work also for, you know, young menstruators. Why not just have pads specifically for them? And then the prints are a little bit more geared to them as well. So yeah, those will be coming out next restock on the 13th. So I do have like, so there's 4 different sizes. 2 sizes are for moderate flows and 2 sizes are for heavier flows. So the ones that I showed you are like on the shorter side, but I do have some that are on the longer side. So these here are all the sizes that we have for the kids. If she needs longer, then obviously you can just get her like our regular size pads. They work just as well. They're just, these ones are just a little bit more narrower is all it is. So this one's our shortest one, so it's a small. And then we have our medium, which is just a little bit longer. Actually, I'll do it this way. So these ones are just a little bit longer. And then our large is here. And this one is heavy absorbency. So that's our large, and then our extra large is also heavy absorbency. So they are roughly, they're either a little bit more or a little bit off. Let me just actually measure them because I have it right here. So our shortest one is 8.5 inches long. Our medium is 9.5 inches long. Our large is 10 1/4 long, and our longest, our heaviest is 11 1/4 long. So if she needs longer, then you can obviously just order from like the regular lengths kind of thing. So you could easily just order, like, I don't know exactly how long like she would need, but like if she needs like a 16-inch or whatever, you can just get her some 16 inches. And if that does not work for her, this is just, you know, now that I've decided that I was going to make pads that are narrower for them, because people have said, you know, oh, well, my daughter is so petite and blah, 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 blah. And so they're just to say, like, it's not a lot, but it's just to say a little bit more narrower. So if she can wear like an adult type pad, then don't even worry about getting these. Just get her like the sizes that she actually needs. But I just made those ones because why not? I'll probably add another length, because I agree that even the shorter one is kind of, it's not even 12 inches long, right? So I think I will add probably an actual nighttime length, but we're starting with that, and then we will gradually grow everything from there. Yeah, I would say 14 would be decent, and then if not, then the next step up is a 16. There's also like the 16 flare that might be nice for her, depending, because it has a really wide back area for sleeping and stuff. So even if she doesn't necessarily need that size, it could be beneficial for her. Oh, you guys aren't even in view. Oh, so it looks like this. So it has like a really, really wide back area. And so if she needs it at the back, she could put it at the back. And if she needs it in the front, then she could put it in the front. But it's a really nice, you know, coverage kind of thing. So if she's that heavy or concerned, it doesn't necessarily mean that she covers this, right? It's just if she wants the coverage because she's just worried, right? Then, you know, that could be also a great idea. And these are like heavy plus, so these are rated for like postpartum type bleeding. So even if she's super, super heavy, it'll be fine for her. It'll hold it all. So yeah, if she's in that kind of area, then don't even bother with like our teen stuff. Just go right into like our regular stuff. It's so hard to have something for everybody, honestly. But yeah, the teeny ones, I did more so like more wing coverage kind of thing, more narrower, and then like the sizes are a little bit smaller, but like I said, I still want to make some larger sizes for them as well, because, well, I know for me, I wasn't a very light menstruator as a kid, so. I try my best. Yes, there's lots and lots of options for sure. Yeah, at some point you have to be like, okay, that's enough. Like, I can't offer every single size, but there are certain areas, like especially with those teen and preteen sizes, that like I still want to make sure that everybody has something, right? I guess it's more so for like the heavy flow people, because we're often like missed or overlooked when it comes to products and stuff. So because I fit in that category, I feel like I'm always making sure that they have options before anybody else. Oh yeah, exactly. A lot of people are. You're not alone in that department for sure. A lot of people are showing signs of irritation and allergic reactions, and yeah, so cloth will for sure help with that problem. Like instantly, basically. Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Same for me. I didn't realize how bad they were until I switched, because for me, it wasn't because I was getting allergic reactions or sensitivities or rashes, irritations to them. Well, for one, I didn't like the feeling of disposable pads. I was not a pad user. I was a tampon user. And I only used pads like if I absolutely had to, kind of thing. But I still felt gross. Like I didn't feel comfortable. You sweat a lot and it's just really uncomfortable. So I switched more so because, like financially, we were going down to just one income family, and, I started hearing about like cups and stuff like that at that time. So I was like, well, I can switch to that, and like, that's not a problem. But I quickly realized that the cups didn't always work for me, so I still needed to wear a pad. So I said, well, I don't want to buy disposables. And then I fell upon the reusables, and I was like, perfect, this is exactly what I can do. I'll switch over, and and now I don't even really wear the cup at all because I'm just much more comfortable in a pad. So me, it was more so the financial change, which then led to comfort and health-wise, just my period alone has changed a lot. So for whatever reason why you want to change, they're all valid. I mean, we talk a lot about the idea of the disposables being very toxic to our bodies, but that's not the only reason why someone would want to switch or could switch, right? Because some people don't have any problems with disposable products. So why do they switch? If it's not for that, what's their reason, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and that's another thing that I find super funny too. When I post about, the pads and stuff, a lot of people will just be like, well, why don't you just use a cup? And it's like, well, not everybody can. Not everybody wants to, not everybody can. Do you expect your daughter to just start using cups? Like, no. So there's a market for every product. And so we shouldn't say like, well, why don't you just use this? Because that's not the way it goes. yeah, the education is definitely broken for that. Yep. Well, and I don't even think it's like necessarily focused on like reproductive or period education. I think it's just like altogether there's less respect, I guess. So like it could be anything on social media, and they just, the things that they comment on, like seriously, like that was just like verbal diarrhea. You didn't even think for a second on what you were saying. Like, poo poo. Well, and that's just it. I think every generation, that's just how it is, right? Like, it just gets worse and worse. So I even find, like, when I was a kid, you know, my grandparents would always be like, oh, I would have never done that. I would have never said that to my parents, blah, 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 right? And then our parents did the same thing, and now us as parents are doing the same thing. So it's just what it is. I mean, I know, you know, kids my age back in the day that had no respect whatsoever. So it has all to do with the way you were brought up, the way that you were taught, the way, you know, what you were able to get away with, your education, you know, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Everybody's comments are ridiculous. Hey. I need to order, well, we're still good for pad wrappers, but probably order some new prints. I think when I know that they're going to be using the electric scissors is when I won't be able to go live because they're so much closer now. Yeah, you should wash them before. I mean, you know, you don't have to, but it's just, you know, like I'm touching them. They're going from my hands to other people's hands. They might have accidentally fallen on the ground or, you know, just like, are they dirty? No, but you should still give them a quick little, just a little wash. Yes, they would have the spray glue on them too. I know. Very colorful. Yeah, I see that too. like them all. They're all like very different and have like a different theme, not a theme, but just, you know, like this one's black and orange, completely different from like the little pastel ghosts and the little voodoo dolls and Ooh. I never know what to order, like fancy drink wise at Starbucks. I always get the refreshers, and that's it. Oh my goodness, that sounds delicious. I also can never remember everything, so I'd gone a couple of times with like one of my girlfriends years and years and years ago, and whatever that she ordered was like super good. And then I wanted to go one time because our Starbucks used to be attached to Chapters, so if I would go like to get a book or something, I would order Starbucks. And anyway, so I go the one time and I message her and I'm like, do you remember when we went? And she was like, no, I don't remember. Because she's obviously changed her drink since then, but it's always so hard to remember what to drink. You make them at home, probably. I know Mark always like not loses his shit, but he's always like so surprised as to how expensive a drink is there. All right, I got this one and one more, and then that'll be it for me. All right. Okay, so I hope you guys have a super good day, and I will see you guys probably not tomorrow, but the day after.